Hello everyone, welcome to my next video lecture on amines. In the earlier class, I was explaining the properties of amines. I have I had explained the basic character of amines. I told you that amines are basic due to the presence of lone pairs electrons on them, and alkyl amines are more basic than ammonia. This was the last conclusion. And I told you, if you take alkyl amines, they have plus I groups. Those plus I groups will increase the basic strength of amines because those will release the electrons and increase the electron density on the nitrogen. As a result, there is more availability of lone pair of electrons on nitrogen, so that more will be the basic character. But when you take an aqueous phase, I told you that in addition to inductive effect, salvation effect and steric effect also influence the basic character of amines. I told you that when you take methyl group, there will not be any steric hindrance for hydrogen bonding with water. If you take ethyl group, propyl group and other larger alkyl groups, they will offer the steric hindrance for the formation of hydrogen bonding with water. Steric hindrance is nothing but the obstacle or obstruction for the formation of hydrogen bonding with water. More the steric hindrance, lesser will be the formation of hydrogen bonding and lesser will be the basic strength. So salvation should be more in order to have more basic strength. This is what the discussion. And finally I concluded that alkyl amines are more basic than aryl amines, in which if you take methyl group as the alkyl group, I told you that dimethylamine is more basic than methylamine, is more basic than trimethylamine, is more basic than ammonia. If you take ethyl or propyl group, for example, if you take ethyl group, diethylamine is more basic than triethylamine, is more basic than ethylamine, is more basic than ammonia. This was the conclusion we had drawn during the last class. Now in the second part of the first reaction, that is basic character of amines, we are going to discuss the basic strength of aryl amines on comparison with that of ammonia. Let me explain here. Now what we are going to do is here, we are comparing the basic strength of ammonia with that of aryl amines. What is an aryl amine here? Nothing but the amino group is attached to the aryl ring here. Now what we can say that alkyl amines are more basic than ammonia, but aryl amines are less basic than ammonia. Why? I will explain here. First of all, let me take one example for an aryl amine, that is aniline I am going to take. What is the formula of aniline? You know that C6H5NH2 is the formula of aniline. If you see aniline, here we have NH2 group. This is a plus N group, electron releasing group. As it is a releasing group, what will happen? This aniline will have resonance structures. So we have a resonance here for aniline. To explain the basic strength of aryl amines on comparison with ammonia, we have to consider the resonance structures of aniline. You all know that these lone pair of electrons are transferred onto the adjacent position to form a pi bond here. At the same time, these electrons will be transferred onto the adjacent carbon. Why it is transferred here? You know that already carbon has 4 bonds here. So if one more pi bond is formed, as these lone pairs are transferred here, it will be forming a new pi bond. As a result, it will become 5 bonds. It is not possible for a carbon. So to maintain the tetravalency, this pi bonded electrons will be shifted onto this position. As a result, we are going to get one resonance structure for aniline. Here, nitrogen has lost its electrons, so that it gets a positive charge. At the same time, as these pi electrons are transferred here, we have a negative charge on the ortho position, and the remaining double bonds will be unaffected. This is the first resonance structure. The lone pairs will be released here to form a pi bond. At the same time, these pi bonded electrons will be moving on to ortho position. Now in the next step, these electrons will form a pi bond here. At the same time, these pi bonded electrons will be shifted onto the adjacent carbon. It gives rise to one more resonance structure. Look here again we have NH2 with a positive charge, and here is a double bond dually formed, and here is a negative charge on the para position, and this is the resonance structure, third resonance structure. If you go for the next resonance structure, these pair of electrons will be transferred here, negative charge. These will be transferred here. As a result, what we are going to get here, a pi bond will be formed. So that here is a possibility to have one more resonance structure. That is nothing but again here the central atom nitrogen bears a positive charge, and here is a double bond, and here is the newly formed double bond, and here is the pi bonded electrons. These will be due to the shifting. Now finally what will happen, these electrons will be again moved here to form a double bond, that is a pi bond here. At the same time, to maintain the tetravalency, these pi bonded electrons will be sent back onto the nitrogen. So that finally we are going to get one more resonance structure here. Look here, as these electrons are moving on to nitrogen, nitrogen will lose its positive charge and there will be lone pair on it. At the same time, here is a pi bond, and here is a double bond, and here is a double bond. So these are the possible resonance structures for aniline. I am telling that if you take aniline as an example for aryl amine, due to the plus M effect or due to the lone pairs on the nitrogen, it will have the following resonance structure. This is for aniline. Now let us consider that aniline being basic substance, due to the lone pairs, it will take a proton. A base is nothing but that can accept a proton, H plus ion. For example, this aniline, if it accepts a proton, it will become anilinium ion. What is aniline? C6H5NH2. What is anilinium ion? C6H5NH3 plus. So that what we are getting here, NH3 plus. In case if it accepts a proton, it will give a anilinium ion. This is anilinium ion here. This is one resonance structure for the anilinium ion formed. And the other resonance structure is again here. We have NH3 plus here, and we have double bonds here. Only two structures are possible. For anilinium ion, two resonance structures. For aniline, 5 resonance structures. Why I am explaining this? Because aniline being basic, if it accepts a proton, it will have 2 resonance structures. That means if it accepts a proton, it have only 2 resonance structures. But before accepting proton, it have more number of resonance structures. That is 5 in number. You know that the stability is directly proportional to the number of resonance structures. More the number of resonance structures, more will be the stability. So aniline has more stability relatively than the anilinium ion, which is obtained by accepting a proton. So that aniline has more resonance structure and it is more stable than anilinium ion, which is formed due to the receiving of a proton. So that aniline prefers to be an aniline molecule rather than anilinium ion. Why? If it takes a proton, anilinium ion will be formed. It will be decreasing its stability because anilinium ion has only 2 structures, resonance structures. But if it won't accept a proton, it has more number of resonance structures. That means it prefers more number of resonance structures. That is nothing but without accepting a proton, it has more stability. After accepting less resonance structure, less stability. So that aniline has less tendency to accept the proton. More the tendency of accepting a proton, more will be the basic strength. Less the tendency for accepting a proton, lesser will be the basic strength. So clearly aniline has less tendency to accept the proton because in the form of aniline molecule it has more stability as it has more resonance structures. This is one point. Second point, if you take ammonia, there is no resonance possible for ammonia. Only thing, it can donate its lone pair of electrons. But here, if you take aromatic amines, that is aryl amines here, that lone pair of electrons are delocalized. In ammonia, lone pair will be only on nitrogen. But if you take aryl amines, it is not on nitrogen. Look here, these electrons are continuously shifting onto different positions like ortho and para. This is called as delocalization. Localization means presence of electrons on a particular carbon. Delocalization means non-stipulated. That means the electrons will be moving around. What is the difference? Localization means we are sure about the position of the electrons. so that proton can directly go and attack those electron pairs. But here it is difficult for a proton to attack. Why? Because here the electrons are less available, or less electrons are delocalized. So to find the electrons on ammonia, it is very easy for a proton, because only on nitrogen the electrons are there, so protonation will be easy there. But if you take aniline, those pair of electrons will not be nitrogen alone, they will be delocalized, so that it is somewhat difficult for a proton to protonate aniline. So less protonation here, and less availability of electrons on nitrogen, so that it is less basic. Lesser the extent of protonation, lesser will be the basic strength. So tell me the two reasons which tells us the basic nature of aniline. First one is they have delocalization of electrons, which make less, which creates some lesser ease for the protonation. Second thing, aniline, after accepting a proton, it will be having anilinium ion with a lesser number of resonance structure, which decreases the stability of aniline after forming anilinium ion. So that anyway, what you can say that the aniline, that is aryl amines, are lesser basic than ammonia. So this is the conclusion. Any aryl amine is lesser basic than ammonia. All the alkyl amines are greater basic than ammonia. But here, even in aniline, if certain groups are present on ring as substituents, they will influence the basic strength. They will affect the basic strength. Let us see what are the factors that will influence the basic strength. So what is the conclusion? Aryl amines are lesser basic than ammonia. Alkyl amines are more basic than ammonia. What is the reason for lesser basic character of aryl amines? First one is delocalization of electrons, less availability of electrons. Second thing is, after protonation, it will be getting resonance structures which is less number than before protonation, so that it has lesser ease of getting a proton. Now, what are the factors that will influence the basic strength of aryl amine? For example, consider aniline. You know that C6H5NH2 is the formula of aniline. I am writing here aniline. Here, for example, imagine that there is an alkyl group, that is methyl group, is present at any one position. For example, let it be para position. So this is an electron releasing group. Now I will take one more molecule of aniline with a substituent like NO2. Look here. Here aniline has NO2 as the substituent, here CH3. This is electron releasing group. This is electron withdrawing group. So what is the function of an electron releasing group? The electron releasing group will increase the electron density. They will push the electrons into the ring. So as a result, the lone pair of electrons are more available. So it is an electron releasing group. As a result, the electron pair on nitrogen will be more available. So in this molecule, what is happening? As this electron releasing group is there, it will increase the basic strength of amines. So what you can say, electron releasing groups like methyl, ethyl or alkoxy groups, OCH3, these groups will increase the basic nature of amines. On the other hand, electron withdrawing groups, electron withdrawing means they will take the electrons. So here we have to put the double bonds. So here electron withdrawing groups are there. Electron withdrawing groups, what is their role? They will decrease the electron density on the ring. They will take the electrons. As a result, electron density will be decreased and electron pair will be less available for donation. So less availability of electron makes it less basic. For example, if you have groups like NO2, here already I have mentioned, or even if you can take carboxylic acid, or you can take sulfonic acid groups, these groups will be decreasing the basic strength of amines. This is nothing but electron withdrawing groups. These are nothing but electron releasing groups. So this is the effect of different kinds of groups on aromatic amines, on their basic strength. For example, if you have understood all these points, we can make a comparison, or we can write the different amines in their decreasing order or increasing order of their basic strength. Can you try? For example, here I am writing some 2 to 3 molecules to give a comparison. So for example, here I am considering a methylamine and ammonia, and what I am making a very simple one, aniline. So if you write the decreasing order of their basic strength, what is the most basic in it? You know that alkylamines are more basic than ammonia. So that CH3NH2 is an alkylamine, methylamine, that is more basic than ammonia. And ammonia is more basic than arylamine, that is nothing but benzene, aniline or benzenamine. So this is the order. So this is the concept which is very important for all the formats of examination, either objective or subjective examination. Concept is very important. Based on the concept and points you have learned, you can practice the increasing and decreasing order of different amines. So what is the conclusion? Alkylamines are more basic than ammonia, and ammonia is more basic than arylamines, or arylamines are lesser basic than ammonia. This is the first chemical properties of amines. Let us move to the second chemical property. Before going to second chemical property, let me list out the chemical properties what we are going to study. Actually, the second property we are going to study is alkylation, and it is followed by the next property, acylation, and again it is followed by a reaction known as carbyl amine reaction, and it is followed by reaction with nitrous acid, nothing but HNO2, and it is followed by, so carbylamine reaction followed by reaction with nitrous acid, followed by reaction with benzene sulfonyl chloride, sulfonyl chloride, and last one is electrophilic substitution on aromatic rings, electrophilic substitution on aryl ring. These are the remaining chemical properties we are going to study. We have completed one chemical property, that is a basic character of amine. Second one is alkylation, third one is acylation, followed by carbylamine reaction, followed by reaction with the nitrous acid, and then we are going to study reaction with benzene sulfonyl chloride. It is nothing but Innsberg reagent. We will study later. And electrophilic substitution. In aromatic amines, we know that electrophilic substitution like sulfonation, nitration and halogenation we are going to study. This is the sequence. Now let us move to the next property, that is nothing but alkylation. What is meant by alkylation? You know, halogenation means substitution of halogen. Alkylation means here substituting an alkyl group on nitrogen just by replacing hydrogen. You know that if you take amines on central atom nitrogen, if you take primary and secondary amines, you have hydrogens on nitrogen. These hydrogens on nitrogen will be replaced with the alkyl group by treating with alkyl halide, and this is known as alkylation. Replacing hydrogen on nitrogen by alkyl group is known as alkylation. If you replace with methyl group, it is methylation. Or if it is ethyl group, it is called as a ethylation. Let us write one example here. This is a primary amine. We heat with an alkyl halide in a sealed tube. What we are going to get here? Look here, one hydrogen and X will be lost. If you want to expand, you can expand, no problem here. So we can remove HX here. HX will be removed. What is left here? R and R, it is nothing but R2 NH. R, and here H is replaced with R. H is substituted by R. so that it will become R2NH. This is a 1 degree amine, primary amine. On alkylation it is giving a secondary amine. It can be continued further. I can take one more alkyl already here. What will happen here? Also the same thing, H and X will be removed. H and X will be removed, and this H will be replaced by alkyl group. It will become R3N. What is it? A third degree amine, tertiary amine, and it can be continued with one more molecule also. So one more alkyl halide is taken. We are going to get here are 3 alkyl groups and here 1. It will become 4. So that R4 NX, R4NX. It is nothing but quaternary salt of ammonia. Quaternary salt of ammonia. Nothing but tetraalkyl halide, ammonium halide. So it is 4 alkyl groups. So tetraalkyl ammonium halide. Halide ion is X minus here. So this is called as alkylation. In alkylation, we successively replace the hydrogens and nitrogen by the alkyl groups, or even it can be aryl groups also. It doesn't matter. Let us write one example so that it will become easy. For example, here for alkyl amine, I am taking methylamine and I am treating with methyl iodide here. What will happen? H and I will be removed. HI will be removed. H and I will be removed, and CH3 will be substituted on N. Already one CH3 is there. If one more CH3 is substituted, it will become dimethyl here. It is NHCH3 taken twice, NH. Here again we can treat with one more CH3. Look here, one more alkyl we are taking. This hydrogen and iodide ion will be removed in the form of HI. So here already 2 methyl groups are there. One more methyl group is being added, so that trimethyl amine is formed. It is methylamine, it is a dimethylamine, it is a trimethylamine. I told you that here you can treat with one more alkyl halide here, that is methyl halide. So what we are going to get? CH3 taken 4 times Ni. What is the name of this molecule? Tetramethyl ammonium iodide. Tetramethyl ammonium iodide. Tetramethyl ammonium iodide is the name of this molecule. So this is called as alkylation. It's nothing but alkylation is nothing but replacing the hydrogen or nitrogen with the alkyl group. Here the same can be carried even with aryl amines. There is no difference even for aryl amines. Let me write an example here. So what is the example that we are going to take here for aryl amines? You know that it is aniline. What is the formula of aniline? C6H5NH2. What is the alkyl halide that we are taking here? CH3I. What will happen in the first step? One hydrogen and iodine will be removed in the form of HI. Now what will happen? C6H5N, and already one H is there on it, and we are substituting one methyl for the second hydrogen. So the hydrogen is removed and methyl is substituted. Very simple to understand. This is continued again. What will happen? This hydrogen will be removed again in the form of HI, H and I, H plus and I minus. It will be removed as HI. So what will happen here? C6H5N, and here already one methyl group is there. One more methyl is substituted, so that it will become dimethyl. So it will become dimethyl here. What is the name of this molecule? Benzenamine. What is the name of it? It's a primary amine. It's a secondary amine. So N-methyl benzenamine. It is N-methyl benzenamine. The name I am writing here. N-methyl aniline. You can write as a UPSC name. N-methyl benzenamine or aniline. What is the name of this one? It is a tertiary amine. So that name starts with N, N. What is it? Dimethyl. 2 methyl groups are there. So that it will become dimethyl aniline. Now this can be continued further by treating with one more mole of CH3I, alkyl halide. You know that quaternary salt will be produced. What is it? C6H5N, and it is already here two alkyl groups are there, so that one more methyl group is added, so it will become 3 and I minus. What is it? Very simply, ammonium. So this is a trimethyl phenyl ammonium iodide. It's the quaternary salt of. So this is nothing but alkylation. So let us go to the next part of the lesson. The next reaction, that is acylation. If you have understood this alkylation well, and acylation will be very easily understood. Can be understood very easily. You can understand acylation easily. Alkylation, we substitute with the alkyl group. Now it is acylation. What we are going to do? Just we are going to substitute with the acyl group for the hydrogen and nitrogen. So the third property is an acylation. So acylation, we are going to substitute an acyl group on nitrogen. What is the general formula of acyl group? RCO. This is an acyl group. R can be an alkyl group or aryl group. In this reaction, we have to introduce RCO. If you introduce R by taking alkyl halides on amines, it will become alkylation. Alkylation, alkyl group. Acylation, acyl group. RCO is the general formula. For that sake, we have to take organic compounds that have acyl group. Which will have acyl group? For example, amides. If you take RCO here, for acylation, what we are going to take is RCO, acid halides, not amides. Acid halides can be taken. RCO, X is the general formula. Acid halide, RCOX. You can take acid halides, or you can take RCO taken twice O. What is it? Anhydride, acid anhydride. Or you can choose even ester. What is the general formula? RCOR. Look here. If you take all these molecules, they have RCO group. These RCO can be substituted on amines. That is known as acylation. Acyl group, RCO group. Let me tell with one example here. So here I am taking a primary amine. So I will write, I am taking RCOX here. You can take any of the compounds here for acylation that should have RCO. I am taking RCOX here, and that is treated with amine. What is the form? For example, for a primary amine, the general formula is RNH2. Now what will happen? This one H and X will be removed. Actually here this reaction is carried a base like pyridine. Pyridine is the base that we are using in this reaction. I will tell you why that pyridine is useful. So H and X will be removed like HX. Now what is remaining here? RCO is remaining here. RCO as X is removed. Here one H is removed, so that NH is removed. NH will be remaining. So NHR. So this is the product form. So what happened here? An acyl group is introduced here. Hydrogen is removed. That is replaced here. Hydrogen is removed, and that hydrogen is replaced with RCO group. This is called as acylation. And here the product is nothing but an amide here. Amide is the product. So substituted amide is the product. When you treat amines with acid halides, it undergo acylation, and the product will get is an amide, N-substituted amide, not amine. Look here, the general formula of amide is RCONH2. You can see RCONH2, but here one hydrogen is replaced with alkyl group here. RCONH2 is the formula of amide, but one hydrogen is replaced with alkyl group. So alkyl substituted amide. So N-alkyl alkanamide. This is N-alkyl alkanamide. I will tell you with an example so that it will be easy to. But what is the use of pyridine here? Pyridine is a base that is more basic than these amines. That will react with being base, that will react with this hydrogen halide acid. So that it is easy to remove this hydrogen halide form. When we remove HX here, HX is the product here. You can write here even if you want. HX is the product here. This is acid. If you remove the product by using pyridine, the equilibrium will be shifted in the forward direction. You know that in equilibrium. So this is the use of pyridine. Let me take one example here. CH3COCl. I am taking, this is acetyl chloride. Its IUPAC name is ethanoyl chloride. This is acetyl chloride. Acetyl chloride is taken, and I will take methanamine, or ethanamine also you can choose. This is methanamine. What is happening here? One H and Cl will be removed. It is carried in the presence of pyridine, and H and Cl will be removed. What is left here? CH3CO is left here, and here NH and CH3 is left here. The use of pyridine is, this pyridine will react with the HCl produced here, and so the equilibrium will be shifted in the forward direction. So now, what is the name of the product? If you take this part, it is ethanamide. 2 carbons are there and it is an amide. Ethanamide. CH3CO, NH2 is ethanamide. But here NH2 is not there. Only NH is there. Because one of the hydrogens has been replaced with methyl. So it is N-substituted amide. So what is its name? N-methyl ethanamide is the product formed here. This is acylation. But this acylation is called as acetylation. Acylation is the common name. But if that group that we are introducing is CH3CO, then it is called as acetylation. If you introduce CH3CO, it is called as acetylation. Please remember that acetylation is same as acylation. In acylation reaction, if the group that we are using is acetyl group CH3CO, then we call it as acetylation. For example, if you use C6H5CO, benzoyl group, BenJoyl, benzoyl group, it is called as benzoylation. It is called as benzoylation. I will write one equation for this kind. C6H5CO is called as a benzyl group, so benzoylation. If it is CH3CO, it is called acetylation. Both are same. Acetylation and benzylation, both are acylations only. Both are acyl groups. But particularly this is acetyl. This acyl group is called as acetyl. This acyl group is called as benzoyl, ZOYL. Now let me write one example even with benzyl chloride. For example, in the same reaction you can carry here. I will take in place of acetyl chloride, I will take benzoyl chloride, C6H5COCl. I told you it is benzoyl chloride. Now easy to guess what is the product that we are going to get here. So this is NH2 and CH3. H and Cl will be removed. Here also pyridine is the base we are using. So here H and Cl will be removed. HCl will be removed. What is remaining here? C6H5CO is remained here. Here H is removed, so that only NHCH3 is remained. So NHCH3. It is also acylation, but we call it as benzoylation because the group here we are introducing is benzoyl group, benzoyl, ZOYL group. So what is the product formed? It is benjamide derivative actually. Benjamide is C6H5CO, NH2 is benjamide. But we have a substitution on nitrogen. So it is N-methyl benjamide. N-methyl benjamide is the product formed here. So this is acylation. In acylation, if acetyl group is introduced, it is called as acetylation. If benzyl group is substituted, on nitrogen, it is called as a benzylation. I told you that this acylation reaction can be carried either with acid chloride or acid anhydride, even with esters. These are all having RCO, so that we can take any of the reagent. Let us see, even by taking one anhydride, how this acylation reaction is carried. So tell me, what is an anhydride, general formula of anhydride? RCO taken twice O. Now acylation can be carried even with an anhydride. That is what I told you. Now let me try with that. For example, here I am taking RCO taken twice O. I am writing the general equation. it is acid anhydride. Now that can be treated with for example, one alkanamine I am taking here. The general formula of alkanamine we know that RNH2. Here also pyridine is the base that we are using. So what will happen here? Look here, RCO and O and H. What is it? RCO, O and H, RCOH. Nothing but a carboxylic acid will be formed here. One RCO along with O and H, RCOH. What is remaining here? One RCO is remaining. One is taken already and one RCO is remained here. Here one hydrogen is already taken. So that what is left here? NHR. Look here. These are the two products here. So this is nothing but again an amide. RCONH2 is an amide, but it is alkyl group substituted on nitrogen. So it is nothing but a N substituted amide. So that here a carboxylic acid can be removed by pyridine. So this is also called as acylation. In acylation, for example, I will take one example of methylamine. For example, I will take acetic anhydride, CH3CO taken twice, O, acetic anhydride, and I will take methanamine. You know that the formula of methanamine is CH3NH2. Here what is the products we are going to get? You already know that CH3CO, O and H, that will form one acid. That is nothing but carboxylic acid. That is nothing but ethanoic acid. We call it as acetic acid. What is remaining here? CH3CO, O and H is formed. So that one more CH3CO is remained. CH3CO. And here one hydrogen is already removed. So that only one NH is remained here. NH. You can write like NH here. And one methyl group on it. So here an amide substitute, N substituted amide. It is nothing but ethanamide. CH3CONH2 is acetamide, or in IUPAC system it is ethanamide. But methyl group is there. So we call it as N-methyl ethanamide or ethanamide, you can say. So substituted N substituted amides will be formed. So this is also an acylation. Even you can carry the same reaction for benzylation also. It is acetylation here again, because CS3CO means acetylation, C6H5CO means it is benzylation. So this is all about acylation reaction. Let me move to the next reaction, that is carbylamine reaction. Carbylamine reaction. It is one of the most important reactions in entire organic chemistry, either for objective, as I said, for theory examination. Repeatedly given in all kinds of examination. Very, very important reaction. What is a carbylamine reaction? Actually, this reaction is existing only for primary amines, that may be aromatic or aliphatic. That should be primary amine. Only the primary amine will give this reaction. What is a carbylamine? First of all, nothing but isocyanide. You know that cyanide is Cn, isocyanide is nothing but Nc. So here the product formed is an isocyanide. That is why it is called as a carbylamine reaction, or it is also called as a isocyanide test. Let me explain. I will write one equation here. If you take any primary amine, aliphatic or aromatic, that is treated with chloroform and alcoholic KOH, that is potash, alcoholic potassium, and this mixture is heated to give rise to RNC, isocyanide, along with potassium chloride and water molecule. What is this isocyanide? This is nothing but isocyanide. So this is called as a carbylamine reaction, and it is also called as the isocyanide reaction. Here the isocyanide formed will have a foul smell, intolerable smell. So this is used actually to identify the primary amine in the laboratory. Let us check with one amine here. I am taking a methylamine, that is treated with chloroform and KOH here, and you know that what is going to form here? CH3NC. Cn means cyanide. Here CH3NC means methyl isocyanide. It is nothing but methyl isocyanide along with the potassium chloride and water molecule. This is called as a carbyl-amine reaction. And one more thing here, you can take even aniline for this reaction. So I will write the same equation by taking aniline. Tell me what is the formula of aniline? C6H5NH2. What is the procedure here? We add chloroform along with alcoholic KOH and the mixture is heated to give rise to isocyanate. C6H5NH2 is taken, that is treated with chloroform and alcoholic KOH, heated. On heating, what we are going to get? C6H5NC, phenyl isocyanide. So other products are KCl here and 3H2. So this is nothing but an isocyanate. So this is very important reaction, as I said. We'll study the remaining properties in the next class. Till then, practice all the properties, all the chemical reactions well. Thank you.